Hello and welcome to Hustlers for a Cause, the podcast for growth-oriented entrepreneurs and executives who aspire to create positive change in the world. Are you in business for more than just profit? Then like and subscribe today and join our channel to become a hustler for a cause. So Kate, thanks so much for your time today and for coming on the show. It's really exciting to have you here.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much for having me. I love chatting with you. I'm excited to be here.
Cool. So just a little intro on Kate. Kate is a Ketogenic Living expert, wellness mentor, and host of the Straight Up Wellness podcast. And she leads the way in the ketogenic community as a founder of Ketogenic Living 101, Ketogenic Living 102, and the creator of the Ketogenic Living Coach certification and co-creative for the Keto 40.
Yeah, man, all the keto things.
Yeah, this is you're keto crazy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I know you have a lot more beyond what you're doing in the podcast and through keto too. Do you want to just give us a quick intro about you and tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got started?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been in fitness for a long time. Like I took a spin class when I was 25 and that was it. I got totally hooked, right? Like dark room, loud music, felt like I was dancing. It was like a rave on a bike. So I became a spin instructor shortly after. And at the time it was like just extra money, like happy hour money, you know? But then after the birth of my first daughter, I didn't go back to work and I became like a full-time instructor. And people used to always ask me like what they should do for nutrition. And I was giving like random advice on the things that like I did. Mm-hmm. And which was mostly the things that a lot of us followed for a long time, which is, 6 small meals a day and, to keep your metabolism active and low fat and things like that. And along the way, someone that I used to network with and hang out with in Philadelphia approached me about Beachbody and was like, "Oh, Beachbody coach, you're already into fitness. This is a perfect fit." So I said yes to that. And it was good because I ended up getting certified in a lot of different formats, and I was a master trainer for Insanity and P90X. But one thing that really kind of always made me feel weird was calling myself a health coach because I wasn't a health coach. I was a Beachbody coach, and a fitness instructor. I was selling products. But it propelled me to go and further my education in nutrition within the Institute of Nutritional Leadership with Dr. Josh Axe and Precision Nutrition. And it was through actually Dr. Axe's program that I learned about keto. And it really stood out to me, not because I was in a position where I needed to lose weight, like between genetics and working out a lot. I had never really had a weight issue. But I was working with women who just were completely plateaued, no matter how hard they worked out or, how far they cut down their calories, they just couldn't lose any weight. So I really dove into keto and I studied a lot. I was like, God, this makes more sense to me than the eating 6 small meals a day and limiting calorie intake does. So I approached them about doing this program with me that I was going to write on my own. 9 of them said yes. 6 of them finished the program that I wrote. And the average amount of weight that these women lost was 20 pounds.
Wow.
20 pounds in 8 weeks. I knew that I was onto something. So I just kept building and tweaking this program and it became Ketogenic Living 101. And then, I continued to grow and scale it. And through that process, I realized that I wasn't really attracted to Beachbody. I liked their workouts, but the supplements weren't my thing. And I only wanted to focus on ketogenic nutrition. That's what I was really loving. It works so well for my life, for my family. So I Googled keto coach certification and there wasn't one. And by this time I was networked well enough with people that were way smarter and more credentialed than I was. And so I went to them and I was like, I want to build this because it doesn't exist, a keto coach certification. Who's in for helping me? And I had some really great people, really great doctors and peers that helped me build the Ketogenic Living coach certification. And now in June, it's going to be 3 years that the coach certification has existed. I believe it's 3. And we've certified a little over 400 coaches on 6 continents of the world. And it's an amazing thing. And I'm so proud to lead that group. And honestly, I don't work with nutrition clients anymore. And I haven't for 1.5 years. I really focus on helping people build their businesses and, impact others and transform other people's lives. Now through ketogenic nutrition or through, their own signature program. Because I think that we all have unique experiences and things that set us apart, and we can all help people in a way that no one else can. So that's what I'm doing now.
Wow. Yeah, that's really incredible to see how that's grown over just 3 years to over 400 coaches. And I know that you have some other stuff that you do as well. And you also, you didn't start in fitness at all, right? You started with somewhat of a diverse background. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you did with the chamber, with your marketing, and how you made that transition?
Yeah, it's so wild. So I went to school for broadcasting, telecommunications, and mass media studies, and I minored in women's studies. And I ended up, I don't even know how I did this, honestly. I ended up graduating early from college. And I had interned at a TV station. And the TV station was like, listen, if you stay on track and you graduate early, we'll have a job waiting for you. Awesome, right? When you're a college graduate and you're looking for a job.
Yeah.
So definitely. So I was on track. I finished early. And so I got a job right out of college in TV advertising. And I was an assistant at first in the sales and research department, and TV and media is really fascinating, how it works and how advertisers can target you. It's really crazy. And then I got selected to go to their sales training program, which was amazing. I got to live in Chicago for 2 months. We were put up in these beautiful apartments and worked out of the Tribune Tower. Yeah. Cold. I mean, I was there in February and March. It hurt. The air hurt. It was so cold. But it was such an amazing experience. And then I did that for a little while. And actually I met my husband through that job. We didn't get together then, but we met and he still does that today. He still works in TV advertising. But I've always kind of really valued more networking and relationships. And I was always it was interesting. No one else, I feel in my department was really going out to different events and giving out their card and things like that. Even though TV sales and any sales business is a lot about new business generation. I was always out. And because of that, I networked a lot and got myself into a job with the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. And it was another sales job. I was selling memberships to the chamber, but it was such a better fit for me. I'm still basically selling marketing, right? Because networking is still a way to market yourself and your business and advertise. But it was just a really cool, different type of marketing because it's all relationships. It's all networking. And I got to do it in one of my favorite cities in the world, right? Philadelphia. And you know what, Sean? I feel I could go home and just drop right back in to the business world there and still be fine. Because, when you make really solid connections and you work with integrity and you build a name for yourself in being somebody that can facilitate introductions to others and build community and 10x value, I think that no matter where you go, you'll have business success for life.
Before I met you, I really didn't understand so much the value of networking. And that's something that's been really awesome to learn from you. But I'm curious what it was that made you really decide to hit that switch and to move out to doing something on your own.
I think that through meeting so many different businesses through the chamber, I became really interested in all different types of business. And I actually thought about going and getting my MBA because, and going into business consulting. And you know what? I'm glad I didn't do that. Because even when I look at the people now that I hire for different things, like different things that I need assistance with, I don't look at their education. I look at their experience and I kind of gauge them as a person before I hire them. But just meeting with all these businesses, I was like, my gosh, like, I feel like I could help them. I feel like I could do this or do that. And I think when you're in sales, because if you're in business for yourself, you are in sales, right? Like that's a sales job. You're constantly selling yourself. I think that I just kind of naturally had that. I have kind of like the gift of gab and I'm really good at making friends. So I think it was almost just like this like natural step, but it really happened for me because of this experience with Beachbody. Like I was, a fitness instructor and I was a mom, and I actually even like I applied and I worked for this company as a virtual assistant for about a year. It was the worst experience of my life. Like, and it's funny because all of us women that worked for this guy at the same time, we're all really good friends still to this day, virtually. Like we've never even met each other in person, but we're all like really good friends because of what we were through, what we went through. He was so mean to us, but he knew that like he could treat us really poorly and like work us to the ground because we relied on that $1,000 a month, paycheck from him to help take care of our families and contribute to our families. But I feel like this network marketing opportunity that I had, it was like gateway entrepreneurship, it was like, oh, like I actually can build something from nothing. And it really like, it took me hiring other business coaches, to really see that I could do something on my own that was like completely outside of Beachbody, that I would be able to brand as my own and also keep 100% of the profit. And that was really attractive to me, right? Because I could sell the same amount, like the same dollar amount every month in Beachbody and make a quarter of that, or I could sell like that same amount with my own business priced the same way and keep 100% of it. It's like a no-brainer, right? Like that totally changed my life.
I can imagine. And what about the time commitment and the ability that you have now with family versus what you were doing with Beachbody before?
I think in the very beginning, the time commitment was similar because, whenever you're building something from nothing, from absolutely nothing, it's, love, tears, sweat, blood, a lot of grit, a lot of hustle. But what I didn't feel like, which I did with Beachbody, because I was basically competing, right, with hundreds of thousands of other coaches out there. So I felt like I was always chained to my phone or my computer. If somebody messaged me, it was like, oh my God, I have to get back to them right away. Otherwise, they're going to go to another coach who can sell them the exact same thing. Like there's nothing else special about what I could sell them other than, they'd be working with me, which I think was special, but you don't really see that as much when you don't really have like a great relationship with somebody. You're really just like, oh, I can get this here, I can get this there, especially if you're looking for immediate gratification. Like, okay, well, this person didn't answer me, so let me go buy it from this person. So I was always chained to my device. And when I started my own program that no one else had, I was marketing it a lot, but I didn't feel like I was constantly chained to a device where I had to get back to somebody like right away, or else they would go buy it from somebody else because they couldn't. What I had didn't exist. No one else had it. So that's a big thing that changed. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt similar when I was in car sales a long time ago. You can buy the same car by VIN from anyone. And I guess there's another side of this too that you spoke about with me before, which is why are you really in this business now? What's the passion behind what you're doing?
I really love helping people create businesses that are both impactful, that are, really changing and transforming someone's life for the better, and profitable. I think that this is the time of the entrepreneur. I'm like a big cheerleader for people. I think that one of my unique abilities is being able to listen to someone's story and then tell them why they're so special and help them feel really empowered to take what's special about them and use it to help others. And it's what I'm doing with my keto coaches now. I will say, like, 90% of the people that come my way for my keto coach certification have not had a business before. They are simply people that experienced an incredible health transformation through the ketogenic lifestyle. And people notice and they ask them for help and they want to be able to do it the right way. And also they're seeing how much time they're spending with each person helping them. And they're like, maybe I should make a business out of this. I'm already spending my time doing it. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And during consultation calls that people schedule with me, I cannot even begin to tell you how many times they'll ask me, like, because my first question is, tell me your story. How did you find the ketogenic lifestyle? Tell me what it did for you. And I just sit and listen to them. And so many times they'll say to me, do you think I can help someone? Do you think people will listen to me? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And this is why, because you had this experience and this is transformative for you. And then this is the exact person that you can help. And this is the messaging that you can use. If I could spend all day long just coaching people on that, that's an ideal life for me. Talking to people about their experience, why they're so special, and then how to use their unique experiences and education and heart and passions to transform the lives of others. Yeah, I'm in. That's an ideal life for me.
Yeah, it's awesome. That it seems like you pull a lot from that sales and marketing background, and what probably makes you so different too. Are there other areas that make you really different in what you do?
I don't like the idea of making people feel uncomfortable. I really, my approach is making people feel valued and empowered and like they're part of something. So I think a key point of differentiation for me in all of my interactions with people is having a best friend moment. My friendships, my community are extremely important to me. They always have been since I was really little. And so I am able to quickly build relationships with people. In fact, a lot of times, when you buy a DIY course, and my Ketogenic Living coach certification, it is DIY, it's go at your own pace. My other coaching is not, it's more like handheld and done with you, but my keto coach certification, it's DIY. And with most DIY courses, you have probably 50% of people just dropping out or never finishing, right? Because life gets in the way, they get busy.
Yep.
With my course, more than 90% of people that buy it finish it.
Wow.
And I don't really know that it's because they feel really passionate about it, or that I've just gotten them really excited about what they can do. And they know that, they can come through this course and they complete it and they are going to be a part of a community and they're going to be fully supported by me. And, and we have developed that relationship. I really do think that that's a big reason why they push forward and they finish. And I'm so proud of that.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. I even myself taking courses in the past online, there's definitely many that I feel like it's easy to get sidetracked from and not finish. And I think that talks just so much to how well you've created a community and how well you've found a place to really help people.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I know you spoke a little bit about it, but how do you feel like now what you're doing and the success you're bringing is creating an impact on the world?
I think creating entrepreneurship is creating job opportunities. It is also creating opportunities for other people to be supported by others who truly understand them because they've already been where they are. I said earlier, I really feel like now is like the time of the entrepreneur. I think that people are interested in buying things that are more customized. I think that people want to buy things that make them feel safe and understood and supported. And when we create and launch companies that do just that, like that's their core value. They obviously want to make money, but their goal is to take what they're really uniquely good at and use it to support, empower, encourage, completely transform someone else's life. I mean, we are changing the world for the better.
Yeah, definitely. And for you, the people that you help the most really are those moms that are at home and that are trying to do so much. Is there other benefits that they see as they finish your course and as they build their business for themselves?
I think that they see that they can do it. Number one, that, God, when you become a mom, so much of your identity is lost, because it is, you become all about just like taking care of this other person and making sure that they're safe, healthy, and happy. And a lot of your own needs get pushed to the back burner. And I think that a lot of these women that I work with, they go through this process of like rediscovery. You know what I mean? Like they're just, and they discover things about themselves that they didn't really realize. And I think that a lot of moms, like we negate how strong we actually are. Like we are, so many of us are, we're the chefs, we're the doctors, we're getting up at all hours of the night, we're comforting, we're schooling, we're the teachers, we're really kind of doing it all. And dads are too. I'm not discounting them, but I see this so much more in moms. And at the end of the day, we put our heads down and we think, God, I suck. Like I should have done so much more today. I wish I wouldn't have yelled at my kids. Do they know that I love them? Do they know that I will always support them? I should have done so much more. I should have fed them a better meal. I should have, like we run through this laundry list of things in our heads, of all of the things that we did wrong or that were not good enough. And I think that when I work with these moms, like these are things that we talk very openly about because they're mindset issues and they're things that hold us back from putting ourselves out there, for thinking that we're good enough to help other people, for asking for sales. So the journey of entrepreneurship, we rediscover like how strong we actually are and how we've evolved into becoming even better and even stronger. And I think too, like we allow ourselves, or we hopefully allow ourselves a little bit more grace. Like, yeah, like I yelled today. Yep. Had a glass of wine too. My kid found a Cheeto underneath the couch. They totally ate it. But you know what? They're safe. They're healthy. They're happy. They know I love them. I freaking did my best. It's all good.
Yeah. And I think that you're like a shining example for your community too, because so you're a mom of 4, right? Mm-hmm. And you have what you started with Ketogenic Living, which I want to know more about in just a second. Plus you run a podcast. Plus you're also beyond that doing business coaching too, right? So it's really it's incredible to see how much you can really achieve when you put your mind to it.
Well,
did I miss anything
so
there?
much.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think kind of it comes down to too, like just like really wanting other things. There are, and I have a lot of these friends in my world that like, they do not want to work or do anything else. Like they want to just 100% be a mom, take care of the home, Like that is what they want to do with their lives. And I love that too. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm just kind of not like that. Like, honestly, I did not babysit at all as I was growing up. Before my children were born, I probably held like 3 other babies in my whole life. It wasn't just, like, I just like, I felt like, like maybe having kids someday will be a good thing, but it's not something that like I have to do. And even when I was pregnant with my first daughter, my first child, I still planned to go back to work. And I was like 2 or 3 weeks away from like, my maternity leave being up. 2 weeks, I think. And my boss had emailed me and she's like, hey, like, just want to make sure everything's all good. And, you start back in 2 weeks and let me know how I can support you. And I got this email and I'm holding my little baby and I felt like my world was collapsing. I'm looking at her and I was like, oh my God, I actually cannot leave you. And it was like a feeling that I did not expect to feel, but I did. And I'm so glad that, I decided to stay home with her and we moved to Florida and everything. But, and as much as I love being with my kids, I also love doing something that is just mine. And that's why I love having my own businesses. Like I love them and I pour so much into them, almost as like an act of self-care.
Wow, that's really powerful. So what would you want to say to maybe the new mom today who's settled? They know they want to be home, but they know they want to be something more. What's one piece of advice, one takeaway that you'd want them to take from today's discussion?
I would really want them to know that they can have a home-based business and they can have something that is generating income, that makes them feel good about themselves, that allows them to stay home with their kids, that allows them to contribute financially to their company, that they can grow however they want, that like they don't have to be like they don't need to like place any sort of like unrealistic expectations on themselves, that it has to happen overnight, that they can create something that's on their own terms, and that they definitely have some sort of life experience and something that they're passionate about that they can turn into a signature business, and to start working on it like now. Just, writing down things that like they're interested in or that they're good at, but, not to undersell themselves or, take on a role that is going to force them to work really hard, not make any money, and constantly feel like a failure.
Yeah. So how can you help those moms now? Tell me more about what you do with Ketogenic Living and everything else that you're up to.
Yeah. So with Ketogenic Living, if somebody is a ketogenic lifestyle enthusiast, it makes sense to them, they've experienced a transformation on their own, I would love for them to join our Fat Fueled family. We have an online course that they can go through, learn all about the ketogenic lifestyle that's updated constantly. They have lifetime access to it. And once they pass their certification and they get their certificate of completion, they'll gain access to this incredible community that we have on Facebook. We also plan meetings in person for networking and just support, even from things like, hey, check out this Facebook post. Does it look good? Does it make sense? And hey, if you could like it for me so it can boost the algorithm, that would be great. Like, this community is awesome. And that's exactly, what we do in there. And we also, all of our coaches gain access to this giant library of resources with full like program guides that have meal plans and recipes and workouts, lead magnets, sales funnel emails, more programs, and all of this stuff they can take and rebrand as their own and structure their programs however they want. So it's truly like a done for you business with all the support behind it. And if keto's not your thing, I totally get that too, but I'm sure that you do have a thing. So what I also have is a 10-week coaching program that helps work at home moms generate at least $5,000 a month or more consistently without pushy upline, MLM uplines, or being chained to their devices 24/7. And we do that by creating signature programs, signature offers together that we can then grow and scale and continue to leverage however far you want to go.
It sounds awesome. So where can people go to learn more?
So the easiest way to find me is on my website. It's ketogenicliving101.com. And whatever you're there for, whether it is keto coaching or, you want to go through the 10-week business coaching course or something else, you just need like a little cheerleader to tell you that you're awesome. That's the best way to reach me. You can reach me through my website, fill out a form. I always write back to you. So you'll get like conversations with me. I have an Instagram. The handle is Keto Living Kate, but I just, full disclosure, what I'm most active on is like Instagram stories, and you'll just see lots of pictures of like my kids and my food and things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you said you have a Facebook community too, right?
I do. But it's for the Ketogenic Living certified coaches. Yeah. It's a private group that has all of the things. We do like monthly trainings in there on like just different keto things or business things. It's awesome. That group is like my family. In fact, like I should tell you, so whenever you work with someone, you really need to like hire somebody for strategy or coaching or something like that. It's one thing to be pushed outside of your comfort zone, because that's a good thing, right? I mean, like we need to be pushed.
Yeah, definitely.
It's another thing though, to be pushed out of alignment. And, I had mentioned earlier, a really big, like something, my core values are delivering 10x value, and, friendships and community. And I was working with somebody that I had hired to help with strategy, and like just total misalignment, like the advice that I got was like, pull back on your community and make access to you be very expensive or very high level. And I'm like, no, I'm just not going to do that. Cause that's just not who I am. That's not out of my comfort zone. That's just not who I am. So I would just, I'm just throwing it out there so that when you hire people, you're hiring the right people. Definitely.
And is there any advice you have there on knowing if something really is out of bounds of who you are, especially for entrepreneurs as they're finding kind of their own voice?
It's really hard. It's really hard at first when you are just kind of like finding yourself. And I would just really sit with those things that you're being maybe asked to do, or a guidance that you find on books or podcasts or, anything else, and just say like, okay, is this out of my comfort zone? Yeah. I mean, probably reaching out to people and selling, it's probably out of your comfort zone, especially if you've never ever done it before.
Definitely.
But, or is this like, does this make me feel really gross? Then stay away from something like that. If you're getting advice to send like a bunch of hey girl messages to anybody that's liked one of your Facebook posts or something like that, and it's making you feel like really, really like gross and like profiteering, that's not in alignment with who you are. Don't do it, because that will shine right through. And once you do things that are like out of alignment, out of integrity, it's hard to get that back. It's hard to, once people see you as like someone who's disingenuous, it's really hard to convince them otherwise.
Yeah. It gives you something to think about. Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, Kate. It's been amazing to get a chance to meet you, get to know you more, and to share your story with the world. And I really look forward to seeing this one published.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And hope to have you as a guest again soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean.
Take care.